Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some
Where is
Scooby-Doo now?
Scooby-Doo and the teenagers in the van solving problems, crimes, and the like.
Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you.
You think it'd be like a real Scooby-Doo show? Like real kind of detectives, better kids, have a dog. Maybe we should do the Nutri-Ground program with Corey Johnson. Where's Drew Brees when you need him? Let's go to La Jolla. Hey, Miss Peaches, apparently my mic is way too low, or our output is low, maybe. That's what I'm getting. It is? It's all hot on this end? Yeah. Wow. Huh. Maybe the general output to the brick and the like needs to be jacked up a little bit. Who knows? Well, it's better now. I'm saying it's better now. That's what happens when you pour vodka into the console, Miss Peaches. Miss Peaches at the controls, fielding your phone calls, knocking back about a half pack of Misties over the next 2 hours. Let's say 10 or 12 of those bad boys. She lights them from the butt of the other one to the next one. Miss Peaches does not own a lighter. She starts the day lighting that first Misty on the gas stove and goes from there. Don't you, Miss Peaches? She just gave me a thumbs up and threw a crumbled up pack of Misties at the glass. I'm just telling it like it is, Miss Peaches. I've been trying to get you off those Misties, the 4 packs a day habit. We'll move on. It is our Humane May fundraiser. It ends this Friday. It's all done this Friday, May 31st, end of the month. Humane May. We do it every year. We try to raise $10,000 for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. Love for you to donate. Let's save some cats and dogs, literally. Saving lives, animals that are treated poorly, inhumanely, treating them better, treating them humanely, treating them right. That's what Jeff Dorson and the Humane Society is all about. If you're really interested in finding out what they're about, their website's humanela.org. If you go on Facebook, they do a good job of updating photos, little paragraph underneath telling you what's going on. If you go to the Humane Society of Louisiana on Facebook, you'll go to the website and you'll donate to our Humane May fundraiser. It's that simple. They're doing the heavy lifting, the tough stuff. We're doing the light lifting, pulling out a credit card, a debit card, and popping it for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. Whatever you can give, I promise you this. It's not going into the pockets of human beings living it up somewhere or a group that's not doing their job. The opposite. They're grinding 7 days a week, 24/7, 365. They don't stop. And Jeff's been doing it for 35 years. Came down here 35 years ago thinking he'd come help Louisiana in need of help when it comes to animals, would be down here a few weeks. That turned into a few months, turned into a few years, turned into a few decades. 35 years later, Jeff Dorson, still here, one of us, humanela.org. I think Jeff is a best banker, if I'm not mistaken, lives on the West Bank. humanela.org, I think. Please go to that website, humanela.org. Up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see me laying on the sofa with Blue Boy. Click on that photo and donate. And please donate generously. Help us hit the goal of $10,000 for cats and dogs. humanela.org. That's why it doesn't go to my website, or I don't handle anything. It's my fundraiser. I do it every May on this program, but I direct you to the humanela.org website. Let them handle everything. That way there's no way I'm taking a percentage of the money or any money's coming through my hands to them. I'm off on the side. Goes straight to those guys, and I know those guys, 96 cents, 97 cents of every dollar going to cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. humanela.org. Ends this Friday. Please donate. Boy, earlier today, it was almost too hot to be outside. It really was. 11, 12, noon, 1 o'clock. And then, I mean, thank goodness cloud cover came and rolled over the metro area, like right now. It's funny, I'm tooling into work a little while ago down River Road, and I got the windows up and the AC cranked. I'm driving, and there's a lady in like her big SUV, big, nice, expensive SUV. She got the window cracked, the hand out, catching some air. So I blew by, and she was coming from the opposite direction, just went by her and thought to myself, God, does it feel that nice? It's like a cool breeze out there. Really? So I roll down the window, Miss Peaches. I stick my left hand out. It wasn't a cool breeze. It was a hot, humid, just hot air blowing by my hand. I'm like, all right, if it was a cool breeze, I would pull my hand in real quick, cranked up the window and cranked up the AC or cranked down the AC. No, almost too hot. Still like 96, feels like 100 right now with overcast. Brutal. Got a good one lined up for you. The Saints and the LSED meeting tomorrow. As expected, the inevitable, a long-term Superdome deal is about to be inked. Unless you're on social media, it was Saints need to sell the team. Gail Benson needs to sell the team. The team's moving. Need a new stadium. I'm like, my God, actually gaining traction. Social media is a trip. The earth is flat. You're going to get some traction on that. Anyway, the exact opposite of sell team moving, new stadium, the opposite on all of those fronts. Gail Benson's not selling the team. You don't want her to sell the team. You don't want her to sell the team. Gail Benson and Dennis Lausch and Greg Bensel, these Saints folks, the hierarchy, it's almost like they're ambassadors. They're like Yaddy New Orleanians. They're just sort of controlling the team until they pass it on to some kind of local trust. I don't know the setup Green Bay Packers like. I have no clue. But it's not going to just be sold off to someone that can move the team. It's the legacy Gail Benson wants is the team's forever in New Orleans type of thing. That's like the next move, way down the road, hopefully. So sell the team, the exact opposite. The team's moving, exact opposite. Gail Benson could have pushed for a move years ago, like Tom Benson did after Katrina. But Gail Benson could have gone in another direction and been like, look, it's post-Katrina. The city's just not coming back. The population's stagnant. There's no Fortune 500 money. And then look at this other market we could be in. And then all of a sudden the team's worth twice the value. The Mexico City Saints, the London Saints, twice the value. Twice. So the team's not moving. And then new stadium, it's like, I don't know, were you not paying attention to the $500 million they're dumping into the dome? I mean, the story that got folks on social media talking about new stadium, the story talks about the final payment, like $500+ million invested in the dome the last 4 years, $500+ million invested in the dome the last 3, 4, 5 years, 3 or 4 years, really. The Saints and the LSED meeting tomorrow. Worst case scenario, in my opinion, by this time next week, this deal will be done. By this time next week, and I think it could be tomorrow, maybe later this week. That's probably, what's going to happen. Maybe later this week announcement, maybe wait for a Monday to announce it. But I think by this time next week, a Superdome, LSED, the state of Louisiana, and the Saints have a long-term deal done. 2055 and the like. Hey, in 9 days, a week from this Thursday, the Treasure Chest Casino in Kennebra opens its land-based casino. I think it's a $100 million land-based casino. Riverboats can come on to land if they want. For 30 years. I mean, I think it's a failed approach. Maybe not for Harrah's/Caesars, but a failed approach for New Orleans. And we don't know like what the other way is. So so we assume everything's fine and it's working. And look, they just added a new hotel. The land-based casino monopoly, my God, do we ever revisit things in New Orleans? Why is there a land-based casino monopoly? If there wasn't a land-based casino monopoly, New Orleans announced we're opening the land-based downtown casino market. Would Wynn, MGM, some of these other big players. I don't think they're turning into Biloxi or Gulfport and a dozen casinos open up, but I think 2 or 3 would come rolling in, billions of dollars in investment, right? Why the land-based casino monopoly in New Orleans? Me no comprende. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harrah. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Let me explain it all. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for finding us. You're in the car, tooling around the metro. Oh, so fine. 93.9. Kaboom goes the dynamite. There's Corey. New Orleans own 107.9. Traveling outside the metro, this little powerful AM signal, 600 AM, it's sneaky powerful. From like Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida, powerful, 600 AM. Take the show with you. Old school AM. YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson, 2 big hours live every day on YouTube. Check us out after the fact on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Put that in that search bar and click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It don't cost nothing. Live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. And we're on TV, at least the first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program, 4 to 5:30 weekdays, 90 minutes of fun. Cox Channel 4, statewide. Spectrum Channel 333 statewide. Yeah, you right. Tuesday afternoon edition of the show feels like a Monday because it was the Memorial Day holiday. Hope you had a good one. Got hot, man. It's hot. Summer's officially here. Brutal earlier, but this overcast is helping. Hey, humanela.org is the website to donate to our fundraiser that ends this Friday. Trying to raise $10,000 for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. You can donate right now at humanela.org. Tomorrow, another edition of Metro New Orleans' most unnecessary, worthless, annoying traffic lights, traffic signals. There's a lot of them. I don't understand. That Lake Avenue in Metairie. Lake Avenue at Vets, you need a traffic light there. Arguably, you know what? Lake Avenue at Vets, you could argue you don't need a traffic light. Even at Lake Avenue and Vets. You almost don't need one. The next light, whatever, by the Winn-Dixie, whatever it is, maybe there. But the Lake's the first street into Jefferson Parish. You might not even need the one right there at Heritage Plaza. You may not even need it right there. I guess you need the turning lane only. That's about all. It barely qualifies. I'll give you that one. But Lake at Old Hammond Highway is entirely 110% unnecessary. It is absurd. And Lake at West Esplanade is entirely unnecessary. It's absurd. It's absurd. Speaking of, West Esplanade at Oaklawn, unnecessary, really. And the next one, what is that? Hopedale or what is it? The one in between Bonneville and Oaklawn, where there's a traffic light on West Esplanade. No, it's in between Oaklawn and Bonneville on West Esplanade, and there's a traffic signal there. God, what is that street? Anyway, it's just ridiculous. So from Lake Avenue, traffic light. Oaklawn, traffic light. The street I can't come up with in between Oaklawn and Bonneville, traffic light. Bonneville, you could argue, doesn't need a traffic light. That it could just be a stop sign. And not even West Esplanade goes through, no stop sign for West Esplanade. I'm not talking four-way stop. I'm talking stop sign just for Bonneville. Those, what is it? Homestead. I said Homedale. Homestead. Homedale's in Orleans. Homestead. Yeah, there's a traffic light at West Esplanade and Homestead. Here, pass out more crack cocaine. What was the deal there? Hey, we got an incentive. We could put up 6 new traffic lights. I get paid off or something? Boy, North Broad at Earhart, that down ramp by Bridge House, that traffic light's just worthless. And I don't know what the hell they're trying to do at Canal Boulevard, at City Park Avenue and Canal Street, where that all blends together. Throw in the streetcar line and total chaos and confusion. Just absurd. It's like you want to avoid Canal Boulevard, Canal Street, City Park Avenue, that traffic signal, because you could be there. I've been here since the Jimmy Carter administration. It's just be there a long time into the future. Run out of gas at that light. I had 3/4 of a tank when I pulled up to this light. Ran out of gas before it changed 7 hours later. That'll be tomorrow's program. I'm like shooting all the bullets out the gun, Miss Peaches. And I didn't even bring up Carrollton Avenue and intersections like Bienville, Banks, Orleans, City Park Avenue. Jeez, Walmsley. How many people are turning from Walmsley onto Carrollton? They don't need the arrow that long. Jeez, Pizza Parlor, Greg and Cindy Brady, we're staying out till 8:30. It is hot out there. I mentioned it. River City's total maintenance is all you need to know. Really, all you need to know is NOLAAC.com. If you need air conditioning help, NOLAAC.com, end of story. I should just move on. But some of you are like, why would I go to River City's total maintenance? Because they're honest. Fair and honest, Lucas and his crew are incapable of providing a service, repair, replacement that is not absolutely necessary. And they will stretch your old system for a while. When I bought my house, it had this round unit. It was like rusted on the outside. It was round. Lucas called it R2D2. We stretched R2D2 out for as long as we could. And then Lucas was finally like, dude, it's becoming, where the next thing it's going to be, you're going against smarts and it's going to be more expensive than it's worth. Replace the whole system. Now, honest, air conditioning experts. The last time I had an AC problem, I'm not kidding you. Lucas diagnosed it over the phone. Go outside, do this, turn that on. Okay, I think it's a so-and-so. I'll send someone out. And they send someone out immediately. Over 30 trucks, over 30 techs. Who's bigger? Who's better? Sterling reputation with the Better Business Bureau, etc. Honest. Air conditioning experts, diagnosing it right the first time. They know what they're doing. In and out quickly. And they come quickly. They come immediately. That's what I want. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately when my AC's not working right. NOLAAC.com is all you need to remember. NOLAAC.com. Corey Johnson with you. On a Tuesday afternoon, the Saints and the LSED meeting tomorrow. As expected, a long-term Superdome deal about to be inked. Worst case scenario, I would say by this time next week. It could be tomorrow. It could be later this week. I think the basic stuff was agreed upon, and then you just had sort of a little wrinkle at the end. That's it. In 9 days, a week from this Thursday, Treasure Chest, say that 10 times fast, Treasure Chest Casino in Canada opens its land-based $100 million casino. $100 million land-based casino in Canada, replacing the casino boat. Could you imagine Wynn or MGM coming into New Orleans if there wasn't a land-based casino monopoly? I mean, only Harrah's and Caesars benefits from that, right? The land-based casino monopoly, 30 years. Why? Why does that still exist? Why does no one broach that subject? It's like reimagining Bourbon Street. We have all these gold bars laying around and we refuse to open up the safe and use them or take advantage of them. Half the folks don't even know they're there. Yeah, why is there a land-based casino for Harrah's Caesars 30 years later? There's no reason. You rework the deal. They get grandfathered in with like a lower tax rate than the competition for a decade or two. Whatever deal you have to work that's reasonable with reasonable people that know the industry and how to handle this. How a municipality that knows what they're doing would handle it. And then I'm not saying you're going to have 6, 8, 10 casinos being built and we become Las Vegas or even Biloxi. But I think at least somebody else, if not 2 or 3 people, would come in and to compete with Harrah Caesars, which has like $1 billion plus of infrastructure in place now. The competitors are going to spend $1 billion or $2 billion. Construction, thousands of jobs. Employees, thousands. You're telling me if the land-based casino monopoly did not exist, no one would come into New Orleans? Business would just go like it's going. I just totally disagree with that. It's insane. It's short-sighted. It's silly. It's like reimagining Bourbon Street. It's long overdue. And I'm not anti-Harrahs or Caesars. The opposite. I'm pro-Harrahs and Caesars. Good for them. But if competition wants to come in, why would you stop that? Especially when casino boats, all of that nonsense don't really even exist anymore. You can build on land. They're doing it in Kenner, opening a week from this Thursday, $100 million land-based. That's just the casino, a little exhibition space, some restaurants. That's it. No hotels, not some massive casino complex, not all the other amenities with that. No, New Orleans opens up the market. Someone or some couple or few, 1, 2, 3 are going to come in. They're going to spend billions. Harrah Caesars is going to have competition. They're going to have to keep investing in their product. Redo this, redo that, build a new this. Plus, like you have Harrah's and now you got Fulton Street all, so it's like one big complex. Whoever comes in and competes is going to want to build a complex, buy up a lot of property, space in the CBD, warehouse district, riverfront.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harrah. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 5 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Yeah, you right. HumaneLA.org. Go to the website and donate. I thought of a great idea. I have to pat myself on the back on this one. And I think 90% of the population is going to roll their eyes and go, okay, I don't care. A and B, not such a great idea. Those exits to nowhere out in New Orleans East, past Michoud, in between Michoud and Irish Bayou. I'm like, why don't you just get some developers to develop like either side, a few hundred acres of the Bayou Sauvage National Wildlife Refuge? Like, you have to get Congress, you have to get Scalise and, Kennedy to pass some legislation where we're going to free up 200 acres on either side of the exit for, let's say 250. We'll make it easy. 250 on one side of the exit, 250 on the other side of that bridge to nowhere exit. And then there's a second exit to nowhere. Do the same thing. So 1,000 acres. And then the developer or developers would have to, build marsh wetlands, say twice as much as they're taking away to build there. And you're not really building something, concrete and like that. You're building like Venetian Isles. You're building like little fingers of land that you'd put houses on in the backyard. You could have your boat. So those people are people that want their boat in their backyard. That there would be those types of people. Or if not, they just want to live on the water. Yet they're right off the interstate. So you'd have some nice like Venetian Isles, like South Florida, like Miami, like what Lake Shore should have been. I mean, boy, Lake Vista is incredible neighborhood out by the lakefront, in between Allen, Tucson and the lake, in between Bayou St. John and the Orleans Avenue Canal, all the bird named streets. That's Lake Vista, a little peninsula. City Park on one side, the lake on the other. Pretty nice. You have the where the streets are and the driveways, that's the back of the house. The front of the house is on this park with these little walkways, these little lanes. And all of that interior there is rarely used by the Lake Vista residents or anyone else. I'm not saying it isn't used. There are people that use their front yard in Lake Vista and use those paths and glad they're there and it adds to the neighborhood. I'm not saying it doesn't. But if it were water access, where you had a boat in your yard, that might be a little different. It might change the whole dynamic of that neighborhood. And I like Lake Vista, so I'm not knocking. People that live there would say I don't want any boat canal here. That's why I live here. I love the parks. I get it. I'm not saying it, it should have been or change it or do it. It was a mistake. It's a beautiful, great area. There should have just been more consideration for like the Venetian Isles type stuff. And we don't have any of that. It's like living on the lake or the river. We don't take advantage of that. Have like 1,000 people out of 1.3 million, maybe 2,000 folks tops that live on the lake or the river. It's crazy. No, to not take advantage of that is crazy. So ideally, and you need a strong mayor and a council people and a visionary type people and sell that. But I think you'd get developers jumping on it. It would create hundreds of home sites. It would create millions of dollars in revenue for Orleans Parish, New Orleans proper. Change New Orleans East. Corey, it's Bayou Sauvage Wildlife Refuge. No way that's changing. You can't build out there. They're not reopening the exits, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's no reason to dismantle these multi-million-dollar bridges. When those bridges over I-10, the exits to nowhere, the bridges that go over the interstate, they were millions of dollars when they were built back in the 70s. These bridges are 50 years old, and maybe 50 vehicles have driven on them, They're like brand new. They've just been sitting in the weather. That's it. You've got Bayou Sauvage Wildlife Refuge on either side of the I-10. The I-10 basically now, what would have been Orlandia, New Orleans East neighborhood expansion and growth, is now is Bayou Sauvage, the largest urban wildlife refuge in America. The bridges aren't going anywhere. Make them wildlife crossings. Have you ever seen these wildlife crossings? The 405 in Los Angeles proper, LA, where there are 20 million people within 50 miles of that interstate in inner city LA. There's a huge wildlife crossing, a bridge over the interstate that connects two forests that the interstate goes right through the middle of the forest. So wildlife now kind of gets funneled to this bridge that has grass and trees and shrubbery, and it leads them across on top of the interstate. Some are tunnels under the interstate. Google it. They're all over America, in California, the Midwest, and all kind of wildlife uses them, including turtles and alligators and wild boars. It's spring heading to summer, so a lot of roadkill out on I-10 in the east. Alligators, huge alligators on the I-10 on the side of the road. A boar just on its side, legs stuck out, just stiff, dead. Huge carcass, like one or two guys ain't dragging that pig. You need like a winch. So yeah, put those bridges into play. Connect the northern side and the southern side of the Bayou Sauvage Wildlife Refuge with these wildlife crossings. Get some federal money. There's I don't know how it's done, but it's basically a bridge, and then they just put grass and trees and dirt. And I know there's more to it. They have to put some coating or some covering or whatever. But the bridge infrastructure is perfect for this, especially a bridge that's never going to be used by cars, automotive, truck traffic. Never. The exits are blocked off. So if someone's not going to get creative and let's redevelop those exits to nowhere in New Orleans East, just a few hundred acres on either side, and the developers have to, whatever amount they take, maybe double or triple, they got to redevelop wetlands that don't exist. Like, how about out in Lake Bourne, which is more of it's not really a lake anymore. It's kind of not a lagoon, but I don't know what you'd call it. It's open water. It's not a lake. You want close in the Gulf side, try to close in the Gulf side. Have those folks do their remediation over there, putting new wetlands into play, planting cypress, dredging, building rock jetty, planting cypress trees, whatever. If you're not going to do that, then put those bridges into play where turtles, alligators, the boars can traverse I-10, not try to run across the interstate, cause an accident, kill a human being, injure a human being. That's the worst part, the number one concern. Second, why have all these carcasses you got to pick up on the interstate? It's ridiculous. The feds will probably pay for most of it. It's green. It's sound. You're putting the bridges into use. You can put something on the bridges instead of graffiti. You can have nice painting and signage. Bayou Sauvage, wildlife crossing. Have alligators and turtles and all that. And swamp picture on there. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but just the exits to nowhere, develop them, or wildlife crossings. Anyway, that's my good idea. King of the Deadheads, big Grateful Dead follower for decades and decades. More than that most folks would know him. One of the best college players and pretty darn good NBA player. Bill Walton has passed away, just 72 years old, cancer. Sad, man, not that old. Such a nice guy, positive force, great vibe. Some might say a little kooky or hippie-ish, whatever, you know, wearing his tie-dye shirts. He lives out in California, went to UCLA, loves the Grateful Dead. Doesn't that make sense? Under Wooden at UCLA, what did he, 30-0 two times, couple of national titles, two-time NBA champ. No, he just had lots of injuries and setbacks like that, but Bill Walton was a bad you-know-what. Bill Walton passing away at 72. That's sad. The Saints and the LSED meeting tomorrow. I think they're both on the same page. They're getting this thing banged out. I would say worst case scenario, by this time next week, they announce a deal. Could be tomorrow. Maybe not. Probably later this week, I'm thinking. As expected, a long-term Superdome deal. Saints staying in the Dome for 20, 30 years. That'll be inked soon. Unless, of course, you're on social media and it's sell the team. The team's moving. Build a new stadium. Stop the insanity. What was that? Stop the insanity. What was that, Miss Peaches? Wasn't that some like infomercial from a decade ago or two? Stop the insanity. Yeah, some diet or some craziness. Anyway, yeah, stop the insanity. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harrah, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Our Humane May fundraiser going on. HumaneLA.org is where you can donate. Boy, the power of Channel 4, huh? Well, the guy that built that station, he was smart. The power of Channel 4, the power of Karen Swenson. My mom's 93. She lives in Bucktown, basically. She's fortunate, you know. Still drives, physically healthy, mentally healthy. There's a 90-year-old, what is he, Air Force veteran? And I don't know where his Air Force benefits are, but he gets like $1,100 Social Security a month. He says he needs about $2,500 to live on. So he's living on $2,500 a month. This guy's living on $30,000 a year. Must live on Lake Avenue, Carrollton, right over there. Kind of not Bucktown, but in between like West Esplanade and Vets. Works at that Winn-Dixie on Vets. Right by the McDonald's, a few blocks in the parish line. Karen Swenson sees this guy. She's going in the Winn-Dixie, sees him pushing grocery carts. And Karen Swenson's like an Angela Hill type of person. Just a lot of people like too positive, always smiling. It's like, you know, Dale Brown used to send me these Christmas cards every year. I'd talk about it, and people like, Dale Brown's a BS artist, whatever. I'm like, well, he's a BS artist 24/7, 365. Does it all the time. You know, like, you're questioning Angela Hill's sincerity or positivity, or Karen Swenson. You know, okay, you can question that. I think they're just positive people and they do positive things. And Karen Swenson's a former anchor and news reporter. So she notices things, she observes things, she's inquisitive and the like. So she's probably, to her, it's this cute old man. He's 90 years old, pushing carts at the grocery store at the Winn-Dixie. So she's like, well, how are you? What's going on? He's like, yeah, I'm an Army veteran. I'm 90 and I don't make enough money. I got to work. Got to come push these carts at the Winn-Dixie. I'm glad I got a job. And Karen Swenson's like thinking to herself, that's terrible. This Air Force veteran who's 90, he has to get a job to just eat. He says he doesn't have enough food to eat and live. So Karen Swenson starts a GoFundMe at $35,000. And within hours, they hit that, and she raises the goal. I read the story this morning. It was at $70,000. I read the updated story a few minutes ago on WWL is at $180,000, $190,000. Now, if you go, the goal was moved from $35,000 to like another level. And then I think now it's at $200,000 is the goal. Like that's the goal. And that, so he can retire permanently. He's 90. His mother lived to 102, whatever. Let's give him enough money where he can retire. And I think she said retire, like fully retire. Now it's at like 204,000 and climbing. The story's going viral. It's going to be picked up nationally. Social media wise, it already is starting to spin nationally, but it's going to be on like CNN or Fox or Newsmax or someone like that in the next day or so. And then the rest of the country is going to start popping this guy's GoFundMe that's already reached its goal. It's probably like 210 now. It was like 204 a minute ago. Just an amazing story. Just how people give, the power of Channel 4, the power of Karen Swenson. I mean, within 24 hours, $200,000 plus raised for this 90-year-old Air Force veteran, so he doesn't have to push carts at the Winn-Dixie on vets anymore. Wow. What a good story. What a good person, Karen Swenson. Seriously. Wouldn't you like to have just that story in your life one time? Man, like 20 years ago, there's this veteran. Yeah, we raised like $200,000 for him in 24 hours. I told Miss Peaches, when I say the power of Channel 4, the power of Karen Swenson, I could have done the exact same story and we'd have $5,800 raised right now for that guy. You know what I mean? Karen Swenson, just like a Hoda Kotb Jr., just like it's a snowball going down the mountain. I'm telling you, they're cut out of that. Angela Hill is like very responsible for Hoda Kotb and Karen Swenson. That's all Angela Hill bleeding over into them. So obvious. No, that people like to make fun or how they positive all the time, blah, blah, blah. When they're by themselves, they're probably miserable and depressed. Whatever makes you feel good. You know, it's like the folks that are super successful in business or whatever. It's folks like taking, pot shots at them. It's crazy. It's hard to be a winner. It's hard to be positive all the time. It's not a fault. It's not denial. You think Angela Hill's in denial? Some bad things are going on. She's trying to turn, lemons into lemonade. We just need lemons right now. No, we don't. Anyway, pretty amazing story. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, speaking of fundraising, our Humane May fundraiser ends this Friday. We're trying to raise $10,000. You know what Karen Swenson raised about in an hour? What she raised in an hour, Miss Peaches, on average? What she raised in an hour, $10,000. We're trying to raise $10,000 in the month of May. It ends the month of May this Friday. Please donate. Let's save some cats and dogs, kittens and puppies. HumaneLA.org HumaneLA.org. You know who's a big proponent of this fundraiser? This guy. Huge proponent, right? It's saving cats and dogs, kittens and puppies' lives, even horses and goats. You're right, buddy. What else? In New Orleans and Louisiana, we don't do the best job concerning what you and your buddies. You're right. You're right, Blue Boy. HumaneLA.org. What else, buddy? 5 o'clock powwow and X don't move. Thank you, Blue Boy. As always, saving the day.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harrah. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Wow. Sounds like the Mach 5.
Here comes Big Racer, he's a demon on wheels.
Always a big fan of Trixie. I want to date a girl that flies a helicopter and picks you up in the helicopter. How cool is that? Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you, 5 o'clock power hour on a Tuesday. A lot of cloud cover. Looks like some rain threatening in some parts of the metro, but high and dry, at least when I was tooling in a few hours ago. But lots of overcast, cloudy, which is a good thing because it's hot as hell. And when that sun was out earlier today, I mean, it was stifling, like 11, noon, 1 o'clock. Like 96 feels like 102 type of stifling. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Our Humane May fundraiser, where we're trying to raise $10,000 for cats and dogs and kittens and puppies. Humane May, we do it annually every year in the month of May. Try to raise $10,000 for the Humane Society of Louisiana. The month of May ends this Friday. May 31st, final day in May, this Friday, end of the week. It's already Tuesday with the Memorial Day holiday. Feels like Monday, but it's Tuesday. Let's hit that $10,000 goal. Let's save the lives of cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, horses, goats. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Our fundraiser, Humane May, ends this Friday. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow on this Tuesday brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Why aren't you at Katie's right now? Katie's in Mid-City, as New Orleans as it gets. Hey, Tulane making the postseason in baseball. LSU making the postseason in baseball. Nicholls State, Grambling, La Tech. There's a little Louisiana flavor. NBA playoffs. After tonight, it'll be NBA finals. They've been at it for a month and a half, the NBA playoffs, almost a month and a half. It's the best postseason in pro sports. Premier League Soccer, Major League Baseball, whatever you want to check out on the flat screen TV, it's on the flat screen TVs at Katie's. But this isn't a sports bar. This is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. A taste of New Orleans. New Orleans specialties, old school. As New Orleans as it gets, Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Katie's. And don't forget about that little deli pizza joint in Lakeview. Francesca, you Lakeview folks know. Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock power hour. Saints officials, the LSED, the folks that run the dome, They're meeting tomorrow, the Saints and the LSED. As expected, a long-term Superdome deal about to be inked. Worst case scenario. By this time next week, it's announced. It could be tomorrow. I'm thinking later in the week. It could be tomorrow. Tomorrow might be we've agreed in principle, we'll have this signed in the next few days type of thing. But I think worst case scenario, by this time next week, the Saints long-term Superdome deal to like 2050, 2055 will be a done deal. And then it'll be focusing in on the arena and the like. Hey, in 9 days, a week from this Thursday, the Treasure Chest Casino in Canberra opening its $100 million land-based casino, bringing something to the lakefront of Kenna. For like 30 years, I mean, I think it's a failed approach, not to Harrah's or Caesar, but for us, New Orleanians. Why is there still a land-based monopoly casino in Orleans Parish, CBD downtown? Why is it a monopoly? That's the law. Only one casino. Harrah's Caesars has the license. That's it. Why would it be? Why not MGM or Wynn or any of these huge operators? Bally's, some of the huge operators of casinos around the world. Somebody else is going to come in and compete, huh? Or is no one going to compete? No one wants to open a land-based casino hotel complex in New Orleans proper, right in downtown, minutes from the French Quarter. No other casino operator on the planet would want to do that. That's what you're telling me. Well, prove it to me. Do the research. I think it's total BS. I don't think we'd become Biloxi, much less Las Vegas, but I think we'd get at least a player or two, maybe three tops, that would come in and build multi-billion-dollar casino complex hotel to compete with Harrah's, to beat Harrah's, to be the destination. So think about that. If just one group, Wynn or MGM, whatever, came in and said, we want to do more and have a better footprint, be the premier New Orleans casino land-based destination. We want to beat Harrah's. Be a few $1 billion in today's money to do that. Fulton Street, the casino complex, 2 hotels. It's a failed approach. It is pointless and silly, but it's like I'm barking at the moon. It's like the reimagining of Bourbon Street. It's so obvious, yet no one even has broached the subject, much less people actually moving forward to engage in such an idea, to put that into play. No, reimagining Bourbon Street, it's long overdue. We're the locals. We own the city. There's a reason we don't go to Bourbon Street. It sucks. Let's make it to where locals and tourists would love to go. Change the demographic, the $25,000 a year demo that goes down there. Some dude and his girlfriend pulls up in their truck. They walk into the quarter. They buy a daiquiri. They walk up and down the street, buy another daiquiri, walk up and down the street and leave. And that's it. $18 from Sally, $23 from Jimmy. You know, it's just not, that doesn't cut it. And it's just daiquiri shops and strip joints, and it's worthless. But no one even broaches the subject except me. It's crazy. Not patting myself on the back. It's crazy that no one else has thought about reimagining Bourbon Street. Why is there a land-based casino monopoly in New Orleans? What's the point? What's the point? If it's Harrah's Caesars, you give them a tax break. They get grandfathered in at a lower tax rate than the competition. They have an edge. Whatever you have to do to get rid of the monopoly, because it's silly and it's counterproductive. It's anti-capitalism. It only hurts New Orleans. Any of the excuses 30 years ago, I mean, they're already proven to be invalid. Next, the casino is going to want to serve food. It'll ruin the restaurants. Next, the casino will want to have a hotel. It'll ruin the hotels. All that's proven to be nonsense. So having this worry about gambling or addiction or whatever, there's enough casinos. No more locals are playing. It's saturated. But boy, you could make this sort of a casino destination with just 2 or 3 mega complexes like Harrah's. And then who knows where that leads to? Maybe there's like a Mexico City, Louis Armstrong nonstop flight. Houston, Mexico City, there are dozens and dozens and dozens every day. We don't have a single one. Now, I don't know what it does, except grow the economy, create jobs, bring more money into New Orleans. That's what it does. Why a land-based casino monopoly? Closing arguments in the Trump trial, the hush money trial. Tomorrow, jury deliberations. King of the Deadheads, former NBA star, former college superstar Bill Walton, passing away at 72 years old, just 72. Bill Walton has died, cancer. Just a sad story. What a positive force and such a nice guy. I said King of the Deadheads. He loved the Grateful Dead. So folks that thought he was kind of quirky or flaky or like a hippie or something, it's like, yeah, that's what he was. But he was smart, intellectual, well-read, and cared for mankind and the planet and was a good guy. And like I said, positive force, good vibe all the time. Nice person. And boy, put up some prolific numbers at UCLA and in the NBA too, champion. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations. To find out about this New Orleans institution, the best in the biz, youngsdrycleaning.com, youngsdrycleaning.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. I do have a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Always a little trivia action. You got answers to the trivia? I got 50 big bucks. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. A holdover question from last week. We were looking for the first ever Popeyes location. We got the answer, Araby. The second ever Popeyes location, sort of known. I don't know about number 3, but number 2 people seem to know. Second ever Popeyes location. If you have the answer, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse. 766-9480. 766-9480. Another franchise original, Smoothie King. Where was the first ever Smoothie King location? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. Oh, also, first ever Raising Cane's location. That's a Baton Rouge original. First ever Raising Cane's location. I'll give you a hint. It was the old Mandy's Conoco station, if that's any kind of hint. 2 Saints numbers are unofficially retired. Name those 2 Saint numbers. 4 Saints NFL Hall of Famers. NFL Hall of Famers. The bulk of their work done in New Orleans. Name those 4 Saints Hall of Famers. Hey, who owns the Lower Pontalba building? Who owns the Lower Pontalba building? 766-9480. And final question, the city has 4 1,000-plus room hotels. 4 hotels that are 1,000-plus rooms. Name 3 of the 4. Name 3 of the 4. We're going to have a 5th maybe. This Omni. $560 million going to be built next to the convention center by the River District. We'll see. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 5 Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Mid-City, New Orleans. Metairie near North Kenner. Mandeville, Slidell, Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. Humane May fundraiser ends Friday this week. HumaneLA.org to donate. Saints officials and the LSED, the Louisiana Stadium an exposition district. The Saints and the LSED are meeting tomorrow. Saints officials and the LSED are meeting tomorrow. As expected, a long-term Superdome deal is about to get inked. This is my prediction. Worst case scenario with a little knowledge behind it, a little information. By this time next week, worst case scenario, this long-term deal is announced. Could be tomorrow or later this week. It's inevitable. The opposite of social media. Sell the team. You don't want Gail Benson selling the team. Team's moving. Gail Benson would have moved the team already. Need a new stadium. Where you're not paying attention, they have invested $500 million in the Dome over the last 3-4 years. In 9 days, a week from Thursday, Treasure Chest Casino, Kenna, opens its $100 million land-based casino. Riverboats can build on land now. For 30 years, you've had the Harrah's, Caesars, land-based casino monopoly in New Orleans. For at least a decade now, I've been asking why. Like reimagining Bourbon Street, at least broach the subject. The powers that be address the subject. Why is there a land-based casino monopoly? Who does that benefit? Harrah's and Caesars, not us. I'm not saying we'd become Biloxi, much less Las Vegas, if you opened up the market and got rid of the pointless anti-capitalism land-based casino monopoly. But I do think like Wynn or MGM or Bally's or one of these casino operators, Pinnacle, whatever, would come in and to compete with Harrah's, they'd have to build a massive casino. They'd have to build a massive hotel. They'd have to build a complex with the casino and hotel benefit, like lots of restaurants, swimming pool, all kind of amenities, like Fulton Street. Like you got to compete against the $1 billion plus investment that Harrah's Caesars has in New Orleans and has had for 30 years. So I'm not saying it's going to be a lot of people coming in, but I think you get 1, 2, 3 major players, maybe international players coming in, spending a few billion because they want to compete against Harrah's, thousands of construction jobs, thousands of full-time real jobs, maybe some nonstop flights coming in. We become sort of a casino market, a destination for casino gambling for folks that like that part of, their vacation. And, Harrah's is great, but when you've got choices and competition, everybody goes up. The riverboats, there's no more riverboats unless the riverboat people choose to keep their casino afloat. You can build on land now, like they did on Peters Road, like they're doing in Kenner. Why we have a land-based casino and monopoly in New Orleans is beyond me. Closing arguments in the Trump hush money trial. Jury deliberations expected to start tomorrow. Bill Walton, NBA great. What at UCLA under John Wooden? 30-0 2 times. 2-time NCAA champion, 2-time NBA champion. Bill Walton, just 72 years old, passing away, long fight with cancer. Such a nice guy, positive force, good vibe. Sad. Hey, Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating has arrived. Nothing sad about that. That's great news. The same folks that have been painting New Orleans for over half a century, 55 plus years, Helm Paint and Decorating now in the capital city. And just like New Orleans, it's high quality Benjamin Moore products. Just like New Orleans, it's painting experts. It's the Helm family. Just like New Orleans, free 2-hour delivery in Metro Baton Rouge. And that means West Baton Rouge Parish, like Bruley and Port Allen, and it means East Baton Rouge, like Prairieville, even as far east as Gonzales. Free 2-hour delivery. 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations now in Baton Rouge. Highland Road, Perkins Road, Choctaw, Jones Creek Road. Free 2-hour delivery. Helm Paint and Decorating. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge. Do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating. I painted my house about a year and a half ago. Looks brand new. Perfect. Got a lifetime paint. Benjamin Moore product. I literally will never have to paint my house again. But since I got Helm involved and Benjamin Moore, if I want to change the color in a few years, I can because it's affordable. I love those elastomeric coatings. It's elastomeric paint. It's been around for 50 years. It's nothing revolutionary about it. It's a rubberized paint that is really unnecessary for about 99% of home applications because it's expensive. You just don't need it, and it's rubberized. It's for like stucco, something where water can penetrate the surface. 99% of houses don't need it. 99% of professional home painters will tell you don't need it. You want to know why it's expensive? When the commercial says much more affordable than you think, that's code for it's expensive as hell. Don't get ripped off. Don't get fooled with this unnecessary product, this elastomeric paint. You want that? They got a better quality Benjamin Moore product at Helm if you want that, but they'll steer you in the right direction. Get like a Regal Select or a line of Benjamin Moore, lifetime warranty, never paint again. You know, I've been thinking about the exits in New Orleans East and how a powerful mayor or council would be like, let's look into redeveloping those. Well, I know it's Bayou Sauvage National Wildlife Refuge, but maybe we get Scalise and Kennedy involved. There's 2 exits to nowhere in the east, maybe 250 acres of development on one side, 250 on the other. Same thing for the second exit, 1,000 total acres. The developers are going to have, since they're building in that wildlife area, they're going to have to redevelop, let's say, 2 or 3 times that amount. 2,000 acres in another place that's desperately needed. And then I'm not talking about like a lot of concrete. I'm talking about like fingers built up in that marsh, wetland, Bayou Sauvage Wildlife Refuge, similar to Venetian Isles, where folks have boat access, where the boat will be in the backyard, folks that want that. So those exits will essentially be like little gated communities. There might be a gas station, might be some kind of services there for general folks to get off on that exit, but not really. It's not going to be like fast food mecca and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it could be whatever you want, however they want to develop it. The point is, develop those exits to nowhere. The bridges are there, the exits are there. And if you're not going to do that, you're just throwing in the towel. Corey, it's the Bayou Sauvage Wildlife Refuge. We're never going to develop those exits. That's why we closed them off. The exits to nowhere. Google or check out wildlife crossings like in California or the Midwest. There's hundreds, if not thousands of them. Overpasses over interstates, tunnels under interstates. In Los Angeles, over the 405, there's like that interstate goes right through the middle of a forest, right in the middle of LA. And animals now have a wildlife crossing where they kind of get funneled in. They don't even know it. Up a hill, it's all green and grass and trees, and they can cross the interstate, don't even know they're crossing the interstate. But people aren't running in animals and getting killed on the interstate. Animals aren't getting killed. Wildlife crossings are all over. You got these bridges. We're not using them. Let's connect the south side to the north side of the Bayou Sauvage Wildlife Refuge. So we don't have people driving in the east running into a 400-pound wild boar or an alligator or even a turtle and having to swerve or wreck their car and risk their lives. It's crazy. I see a lot of carcasses lately in the East. It's spring. We're heading towards summer. Alligators, wild boar. How about getting those bridges, those 2 exits to nowhere, turn them into wildlife crossings? The feds would pay for it, get a little money, create some jobs. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. The Saints and the LSED meet tomorrow. As expected, a long-term deal. Saints Superdome to be banged out. Worst case scenario, like I said, this time next week they'll announce it. Could be tomorrow, later in the week. Inevitable. The opposite of social media. That was funny. Gail Benson should sell the team. And your logic on that is based off of what? The team's moving. And your logic on that is based off of what? Saints need a new stadium. Were you not paying attention? We just dumped $500 million, 500+ million into the dome the last 3 or 4 years. Saints are about to sign a long-term, like 30-year lease extension at the dome to like 2050, 2055. I guess it'll be a 25-year extension. Late last year, they signed an extension to 2030. I think it'll be a new extension to 2055. And it'll be announced maybe tomorrow, later in the week, I would guess. Worst case scenario by this time next week. Boy, you know what is good, and I've never, ever purchased anything else in my life. New Orleans owned Blue Plate mayonnaise. Never, ever have purchased a competitive mayonnaise. And never have another mayonnaise been in my pantry or refrigerator, but a jar or squeeze bottle of Blue Plate mayonnaise. If you're a New Orleanian, it's got to be Blue Plate, New Orleans mayonnaise, Blue Plate mayonnaise. Corey Johnson with you. Humane May fundraiser continues till this Friday, and we're done. Trying to raise $10,000 for animals. HumaneLA.org is how you donate. Let's save some cats and dogs, some kittens and puppies, horses, goats. HumaneLA.org. HumaneLA.org. Closing arguments in the hush money Trump trial. That's in the books. Tomorrow, jury deliberations expected to start. In 9 days, a week from this Thursday, the Treasure Chest Casino in Kenner will open its $100 million land-based casino. I asked this question again. No one else is broaching it, and I don't understand it. Very much reminds me of like the reimagining Bourbon Street theme I've been pushing for years. Let's reimagine Bourbon Street. No one's mentioned this. No one talks about this. And no one wants to go down there locally because it's a toilet. It sucks. Why is there a land-based casino monopoly? Why isn't anyone else broaching the subject? 30 years now, Harrah's solo land-based casino. I don't get it. Harrah's Caesars. It's good for them. I think it's a failed approach for the city. Like I said earlier, I don't think we'd become Biloxi, much less a Las Vegas. But I think you'd see a competitor or two, maybe 3 tops, that would come in to compete with Caesars Harrah's. Then all of a sudden we'd have not 1, but maybe 2, 3, maybe $4 billion plus, maybe $2 billion plus casino complexes. This 1,000-room Omni Hotel, it's $565 million just for the hotel. You have some casino operator coming in, building a first-class hotel, building a first-class casino. It's north of $1 billion. Then they want some Fulton Street type amenities to make it a complex and really attract people. They want to beat Harrah's. $1 billion more. Throw in inflation, whatever. $2-3 billion from Wynn or MGM, Bally, somebody. I don't get why there is a land-based casino monopoly. The arguments about, boy, if we serve food at the casino, all the restaurants are going to go out of business. They now have food at Harrah's and have for decades. We can't let Harrah's have hotels. It'll put the hotels out of business. Harrah's has 1 hotel for decades. Now they're building a second, about to cut the ribbon on it. people become addicted to gambling. The market's saturated. No locals are going to get addicted to gambling that aren't already addicted or like to play that if another casino opens. What it's going to do is attract tourists. It's going to make us maybe a mini tourist destination for casino people that love New Orleans. And boy, the added casinos, plural, there's competition. I can go to this one, use that one against that one. They'll treat me better at the other one. The pro gamblers know what they're doing. Competition's good. It's capitalism. It's the American way. Why we have a casino monopoly for the land-based casino in New Orleans for 30 years now. Makes no sense. Even the riverboats, they abandoned that. Kenner's about to open their land-based casino, $100 million. Right on the lakefront in Kenner. A week from Thursday, they cut the ribbon. Feels like a Monday, but it's Tuesday. That means Trey Yen lunch specials going down today, tomorrow through Friday. Tuesday through Friday, gourmet Chinese cuisine lunch specials, 10, 11, 12 bucks. What you'd spend at a fast food restaurant. You're not just getting Chinese food. Like I said, you're getting Chinese cuisine. Lunch specials, Tuesday through Friday. Don't miss it. Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. No AC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Tuesday afternoon. It was ridiculously hot earlier, stifling around lunch. And then the cloud cover rolled in. A little rain in some parts of the metro, high and dry in other parts. But the cloud cover took the sun out of play and made it bearable. Because I'm telling you, at lunchtime, it was stifling outside. And what's nice, some evenings, you know, as the sun's setting, you get a little breeze. It can even be coming off the Gulf from the south. And at least it makes things feel a little better. And then other times there's like no breeze. Like the other night I could have dropped a feather and it would have fallen straight down. And it was just oppressively hot and humid. I cut the walk short. Said, Tolley, we're cutting it short, buddy. Let's go inside the AC. Refreshing. That's one good thing about air conditioning. You get out of from outside into the AC. You're like, oh, thank goodness. NOLAAC.com if you ever need air conditioning help. That's River City's total maintenance. Honest AC experts come immediately. All you need to know, NOLAAC.com. If you need air conditioning help, NOLAAC.com. Big story of the day. The Saints and the LSED will meet tomorrow. Meeting tomorrow. Saints and LSED. It's a formality, as expected. Just what I was saying last week when this thing was breaking on Wednesday. Long-term Superdome Saints deal is about to be inked. Could it be announced tomorrow? Possibly. I think by the end of the week. Worst case scenario. By this time next week, the Saints and the state will have a long-term Superdome deal done till like 2055. Extending the present 2030 extension that was signed late last year, another 25 years. Social media was a trip when this went down Wednesday, Thursday of last week. Just crazy. Like fans are like, this was just the negative vibe. The Saints are pulling something. The city or state's pulling whatever, just whatever side folks are on. And it turns into Gail Benson needs to sell the team. That would be the worst case scenario. That's just like if you're a Saints fan, so much so where you have an opinion like that you felt that was a good opinion, then you aren't really a good Saints fan or you're not paying attention at all. They're 32 NFL teams, these franchises. You have to, like a McDonald's or Popeyes, you have a certain standard that you have to keep. 32 teams. Most of these teams pretty much just work on their own. They're just thrown out there. They play in a city, and there's enough money and Fortune 500 companies where it just works on its own. New Orleans, we're not fortunate. We have to assist. We have to subsidize the Saints and the Pelicans a little bit. And it's worth it because of the benefits we get on the other side. That's the belief. That's the thought. I believe that. I think that's a good thought. We're punching above our weight, having NFL and NBA in New Orleans. That's huge for us. It's so much free publicity and the like. Any other owner, especially someone from out of town, would just be very hard-pressed to move the team. There'd just be too much money, too much opportunity elsewhere, no loyalty, no dedication. Like Miss Benson is Yaddy New Orleanian, Dennis Laucha, Wes Banker, Yaddy New Orleanian, Greg Bensel, Yaddy New Orleanian. They're us. And they get our limitations.
So Gail Benson's legacy, she wants to be, hopefully 20, 30 years down the road, is gave the team to the city of New Orleans, essentially. Made sure it never left New Orleans. So folks on social media last week, Miss Benson needs to sell the team. The worst thing you could say. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Thank God Gail Benson owns the team, and Dennis Lausch and Bensel help run it, because they're New Orleanians. They're not out to like, hey, let's double our money and go to London or Mexico City. That was another thing on social media. The team's moving now. This is posturing to move the team. Gail Benson would have done this years ago before she already dumped $150 million into the Dome and is going to dump another $50 million in. She's going to move the team. Just sign an extension to the Dome till 2030. Going to move the team? Just crazy. And then new stadium, which I don't know, that might trump even sell the team or move the team. New stadium. This whole thing started based off the Saints not making payment on the $500+ million renovation of the Dome. $500 million, $500 million. So social media, a lot of folks that claim to be Saints fans in the know, sell team, move team, new stadium, wrong. Just unbelievably wrong. The dead opposite. You don't want her selling the team. She could have moved the team years ago, and the Dome is the stadium. Hey, Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, is hiring. A culture of innovation at Latrim, and they want you. Looking for a new job, a new career? They got you covered. Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Bill Walton at UCLA under John Wooden, 2 times 30-0. 2 times NCAA champ, 2-time NBA champ. Bill Walton, just 72 years old, passing away after a long fight with cancer. Good vibes, positive guy, nice guy. Just a sad story, and a fantastic college player and a pretty darn good NBA player. Closing arguments in the Trump hush money trial. Jury to start deliberations tomorrow. That's what's expected, at least. Speaking of tomorrow, this is important locally. The Saints and the LSED meeting tomorrow. I doubt they're going to announce tomorrow a long-term deal. They might. But I think by the end of the week, worst case scenario, by this time next week, long-term Saints Superdome deal, extending the lease that goes till 2030, probably 25 years to 2055. Why do we still have a land-based casino monopoly in New Orleans? Why only one land-based casino? In 9 days, a week from Thursday, the Treasure Chest Casino in Kenner opens its $100 million land-based. Even the riverboats don't have to be on the water. Why would we have any restriction in the New Orleans casino market? It's 30 years later. Harrah's and Caesars doesn't need the monopoly. Work a new deal and open up the market and see what happens. I think you'd have at least one, if not 2 or 3 new players come in. Not a half dozen, but 1 or 2. Come on. It's a few billion in investment, thousands of construction jobs, thousands of full-time jobs, spin-off stuff. It's a no-brainer. Hey, since 1896, the official French bread of New Orleans, Leidenheimer Baking Company. You heard me right. 1896, over 125 years, baking the French bread you love right here in the city of New Orleans. It's part of our DNA. Leidenheimer French bread. Over 125 years, Leidenheimer Baking Company.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harrah. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's Latram.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Literally right now, New Orleans starting to get a little rain, a front rolling in from the west as usual. That's about 90% of the time or more. Always comes from the west. But the front literally hitting like the western edge of the metro, like Laplace, those areas getting pounded right now. Kenner, I'm assuming, starting to get hit. Coming into Metairie, coming into Orleans Parish, literally as we speak, this front, and South Shore and North Shore included. This thing's going over the entire South Shore, the entire lake, and the North Shore. It's a big front, and I'm not saying it's severe. I don't know those details. It doesn't seem like any kind of crazy, severity, just a big front coming in, some rain expected over the metro, maybe over the next few hours. No, that's a pretty thick, too, goes back past Baton Rouge. So maybe rain, I don't know, just looking at this thing and the speed it's going. It might take about
Looking where it hit Laplace and came in, maybe an hour and a half to pass, something like that. Anyway, rain coming in the next few minutes, get outside. If it's dry by you right now, who knows? It might be scattered and spread out, but it looks pretty solid, a wall of rain coming in. And if it's not raining by you right now, maybe get outside and go knock out some stuff, or beeline over to Rouse's and grab all your goodies you're going to need for dinner tonight. Best quality, best price, best selection. There's a Rouse's in your neighborhood or right next door to your neighborhood. Over 60 Rouse's for over 60 years. 1/3 plus of all Rouse's locations are in Metro New Orleans. Over 20 Rouse's markets taste like home. Humane May fundraiser ends this Friday. Please donate. We're trying to raise $10,000 and literally save the lives of cats and dogs and kittens and puppies and goats and horses, all kind of animals. HumaneLA.org. This guy's a big ambassador for this fundraiser every year. People really need to donate. We're a little behind. You're right, Blue Boy. We're not going to hit the goal unless people donate. Please go to HumaneLA.org and donate. Blue Boy, thanks so much. What else? Thank Miss Peaches. Thank everybody for watching and listening. Mañana, Wide Open Wednesday, 4 p.m. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.